Stop it, people. It's time to stop the vicious cycle. It's time to stop increasing your body fat percentage year over year. As this time comes around, you start with your dirty bulk. You start eating 5,000 calories a day, and then spring hits, you cut it all the way down to 1,500 calories a day, and you start to cut. The bulking and cutting cycle needs to stop. If you've gone through this cycle for years, it's time right now. I'm going to tell you how to break from this cycle, how to build muscle appropriately, how to stay lean year round, and increase your muscle mass incrementally each and every month to consistently improve on your overall aesthetic. Now, I too have fallen victim to this cycle. This cycle that's brought about by what we see in fitness media. The false advertisements perpetrated by supplement companies advertising people putting on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle in a single month. I'm sorry, but unless you're an enhanced athlete, you do not have the genetic capacity to put on 15 pounds of muscle in a single month. Realistically speaking, you can put on 1 to 2 pounds of muscle in a given month. If you're adding more than that to your body, you're increasing the amount of water that you have on your body, as well as increasing your overall fat. And that's the big one, because we set these expectations of putting on 10 pounds of muscle, and then when people get started in the gym, they put on 10 pounds, they think they're doing great, but now all of a sudden, they're a little bit more rotund and round in the midsection. So, how do we put on muscle cleanly? And how do we not fall into this trap anymore? Now, the first thing, and I'm sorry this is going to be a very diet heavy video, because that's obviously going to be the controlling factor in this, because as you already know, when you're putting on muscle, you need to go through progressive overload training. You need to build your muscle up. You need to push your muscles further than what they were previously. If you use the example of a teenager on a Saturday when they're in high school, they do not get out of bed unless they have a very specific reason to get out of bed. Usually you have to chase them out of bed to get them out of bed and moving in the morning. Your muscles are the exact same way. Your body does not develop and grow muscles magically. It's very much the use it or lose it capacity. And if you are training using the same weights week after week after week, using the same volume week after week after week, doing the exact same movements, the same capacity each and every week, guess what? Your body will not change because it's already adapted to that stimulus. It's already done what it could from those workouts. So each and every week, your workouts need to get progressively harder and progressively more difficult. Whether that is you're adding weight, increasing the amount of volume that you do, decreasing the rest period, the various different ways to progressively overload your body, switching the amount of movements that we're doing, switching the order of the movements. All of these different capacities are increasing or manipulating the overall workload that you have for a given exercise on a given day. So we need to perpetually, progressively overload our body. Whether you're doing mesocycles, working in 12-week cycles of different training methodologies to increase the variability of your workouts to then stop your body from reaching a homeostasis or hitting platforms in your workout and working towards progressively improving that way, or if you're going through different training patterns and different training cycles, and that'll be something that I go on about in a later video. But let's get into your diet. Now, as you already know from when you were cutting this past summer, you need to eat clean, nutrient-dense foods to fuel your body. It's what helps fuel your muscles. It's what helps your body feel good. It's what helps picks up your energy and different things of that nature. So why on God's green earth do we change that when we tell our body that I want you to build this lovely material that goes around my entire body? Why do we switch from eating nutrient-dense foods like broccoli, sweet potatoes, beef, chicken, all of those different foods? Why do we then flip the script and now jump into a 5,000 calorie a day diet, eating a lot of pizza and wings and drinking all kinds of beer and all of these different things that are just getting our body these empty, unfulfilling, unsatiating calories to then bulk up? And now what do we think we're going to put on in that? We're not increasing the amount of fuel that we're putting into our body to develop muscle. We're increasing copious amounts to increase the amount of overall calories that we have, so our body then stores those calories as fat. That's what our body does when we give it a lot of bad calories into our diet. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to stick to those nutrient-dense foods. We start out, we log our foods. This gives us a sense of how many calories we're putting in. If we're building muscle, we do need to increase our overall calories. Obviously, we can't put on weight if our calories out are higher than our calories in. Again, the scales just don't add up appropriately. So, when we are increasing our calories to build lean muscle and stay lean, what we want to do is we want to explore it in a 250 calorie a day clip. And we're going to measure what the scale is doing each and every week. And if the scale isn't moving up, again, incrementally, so less than a single pound in a week, then we're going to increase our caloric intake by 250 calories a day. And what that's going to do is those 250 calories a day, that's going to be 1,750 calories a week that we're going to be increasing in our intake. That will put us at a surplus once we start to gain weight and we're in that 250 calorie surplus a day of 2 pounds or 77,000 calories a given month. And that's going to be how much we're going to look for the scale to shift, because you figure with the increased muscle, we're going to be increasing the amount of water that we have, and we can, if everything is operating optimally and we're not too advanced in our training, we can put on 1 to 2 pounds of muscle in a given month. If you've been training for multiple years, it's going to be a little bit slower for you to progress because your body's already adapted to various stimuli. So again, you want to pay attention to how lean you are. If you're noticing a lot of definition in your shoulder, in your arms, if you're very vascular and all of a sudden that starts to go away, that's actually your body fat percentage increasing. And that's what we want to avoid with this. Each and every year that you go through this dirty bulk cycle and then you cut back down, you're actually increasing the number of fat cells that you have, because as your body goes through and puts on a lot of fat in a short duration of time, we increase the number of fat cells that we have. And then when we cut back down, we're just shrinking those fat cells back down. We're not removing them from our overall body or our system. So you want to focus on those nutrient-dense foods. You want to have between 1 to 1.5, or I'll even round it up and call it 2 grams of protein per pound of lean mass that you do have. Now, for many people, this is very hard to accomplish. So what you're going to look to do is you might be looking to get a clean protein supplement. Now, these aren't your weight gainer supplements. Literally, those are designed to put fat on your body. When you have a protein powder and you're drinking 350 calories in a shake, that is going to obviously increase your caloric intake. It has a lot of dirty calories in it. You want a nice, clean protein that is going to have roughly 90 calories for 20 grams of protein. You want as low calorie to as high protein as you could possibly get per serving of that protein. And you're going to use that to mix it in, whether you're on the road or different things like that, to make sure that you're getting enough protein to then develop the new muscle as you're going through your progressive overload training. You want to increase your training frequency to increase the amount that you're training on the muscles. And you might even want to increase the volume that you're doing in your given workouts, whether it's the number of sets, the number of repetitions, or number of exercises in your given workouts, to manipulate the number of angles that you're hitting the muscle with. I hope this helped you out. I hope I broke you from the vicious cycle. If you are done with a dirty bulk followed by a vicious diet to get ready for summer, comment down below, say done. My name is Enrico Fiornelli. I'm the Fitness Sensei. I hope I learned you a little something. I'll catch you later.